Good morning, everyone. It is really a matter of great pride and privilege and pleasure to be amongst this August gathering on the occasion of Geriatric and Palliative Care Conference, which is jointly organized by R&D Group of Hospitals and Indian Association of Palliative Care. I am really on behalf of Indian Association of Palliative Care, I am thankful to Dr. Republica and her team for giving us this opportunity. And I'm sure this conference is going to give you a very much insight into the elderly care, geriatric care, and palliative care together. Indian Association of Palliative Care has initiated this collaboration with geriatric care since last 2-3 years when the first conference was held at Chennai. Following this, our academic unit of IAPC, Academy of Palliative Medicine, has also started a course of Essentials of Geriatric Palliative Care in August 2025. And this course has gained much popularity, and there were more than 50 participants during this first cohort. So, geriatric care and palliative care has a same philosophy of compassionate care, improving quality of life, and regaining their dignity and maintaining their dignity throughout the life. With this introduction, in this keynote address, I am going to talk about global policy and directives for palliative care policy and directives in India, existing gaps in these policies, and what is the role of Indian Association of Palliative Care, and what we can do to bridge this gap. Coming to global policy, it started way back in 1986 when WHO introduced Cancer Control Program, and WHO analgesic leader was part of this program. Following this, in 2005, World Health Assembly emphasized the palliative care should be a part of cancer control program and to improve the quality of life of cancer patients. In 2014, World Health Assembly again came up with a resolution that palliative care should be part of health care, which was widely accepted and integrated into primary health care facilities. In 2018, this was again endorsed by Declaration of Asthana on primary health care explicitly should include the palliative care. With all this policy into place over a period of a decade or so, this last year, the World Hospice and Palliative Care was celebrated with the theme of achieving the promise of universal access to palliative care. So what happened after this? After the implementation of these policies over a decade, a brief report of Global Atlas of Palliative Care in 2020 says that it is estimated over 56.8 million remain in need of palliative care, but still only 14% has access to it. And you'll be surprised to know that almost 80% of this need is in middle and lower income countries. What are the reasons for this poor access to the palliative care? It has been reported that it is because of the uneven integration, weak national policies, limited funding, and poor access to essential medicines. These are the key barriers for implementing these policies across world and particularly in lower income countries. Let us see what India has done during this period. Before going to that, I will like to highlight some history of palliative care. And because of this poor implementation of the policy, again, WHO worked in 2021 in its technical report. It came out with the House of Palliative Care. On right side, you can see the figure of a house, which should have a strong base of empowering community and people in community, health policies and research. And it should have a strong pillars of education and training and use of essential medicine. So they have identified these 6 domains, and these indicators should support the universal health policy goals for promoting accountability, transparency, and progress monitoring. So any palliative care services should have these strong pillars and strong foundation stones of these 6 domains in palliative care. Following this, we celebrated World Health and Palliative Care Day along with along with Worldwide Hospice and Palliative Care Alliance in 2025, and Indian Association of Palliative Care also organized number of webinars for, depending on the sub-themes, and these webinars were happened in August, September and October. So this is what has been done at world level about the policy and development of palliative care. Following this, recently we have this world map of palliative care development. It shows what is the status of palliative care in various countries. And this status is again categorized in advanced, established, progressing and emerging. Here you can see the India is categorized under the number 3, progressing. So in India, palliative care is already, it is established, but it is still in progressing stage and lots needs to be done to propagate the palliative care across the country. With this briefing about the world policy and the status of various countries as far as palliative care is concerned, let us have a look into what is happening in India. And before going to that, a brief history of palliative care in India. It started way back in 1985. We remain in line with world policy and WHO and various international organizations. And the first hospice came up in Mumbai. And at the same time in Mumbai Tata Memorial, a tablet called A and O, that is a combination of aspirin and opium, was used. In 1993, Pain and Palliative Care Society began the outpatient department, and this was the first community-based clinic where community was involved. In 1994, Indian Association of Palliative Care was formed, registered at Ahmedabad, Gujarat, to take up palliative care across country. And first policy on palliative care came up in Kerala in 2008. Following this, what at national level has been done? In 2010, we had a postgraduate course in palliative medicine recognized by MCI, and the Tata Memorial was the first institute to start this MD post-graduation. In 2012, Government of India launched national program for palliative care across country, and now it is implemented in many states in India. In 2014, with the help of many NGOs and IAPC, we could amend the NDPS Act. And this amendment was brought to simplify the availability of essential narcotic drugs along country. In 2017, National Health Policy accepted the policy of WHO and World Policy and agreed to implement palliative care at grassroots level by establishing health and wellness center and home-based services. In 2018, Supreme Court's Common Cause judgment recognized the right to die and with dignity, and in 2020, ICMR consensus guideline on DNR decision was taken up. So, India is working in line with world policy and recommendation of WHO and many other international organizations. And for working along with this, India has included palliative care as a part of services in many their healthcare programs as well, not only NPPC, but healthcare of elderly. So here we started working with elderly care and geriatric care in collaboration with palliative care. National health policy, state palliative care policies, many states has got their own policy implemented, AIDS control program, tuberculosis program, and health and wellness center. But as you see, the ground level organization which is responsible for the implementing palliative care at community level is health and wellness center. And health and wellness center is involved in so many other programs that elderly and palliative healthcare services are a small part of it. But still, Government of India is working very hard to improve the access to palliative care, imparting training and making them self-sustainable as far as possible. But in spite of that, India is still in the category of progressing because of there are some gaps still existing where we are not able to reach up to the what is expected. What are these gaps? First and foremost, NDPS Act. It is amended, implemented in many states, but there are still few areas of confusion, few gray areas where we have to come up with a proper decision. Like last week only we heard that now MD qualified anesthesiologists are registered medical professionals. There was lots of discussion held in our group. Is it the right decision or still something more needs to be done? It is good, it is very right decision that now many institutions can get a RMI status. But at the same time, these anesthesiologists should be trained for handling the oral morphine and methadone, which are the prime drugs used by palliative care physicians. So this type of decision and on part of stakeholders are still continuing. And in spite of implementation of NDPS, still access to primary health, palliative care at primary health level and access to opioids in urban as well as rural area is still under poor category. Coming to medical education, gaps in medical education, we have post-graduation in palliative medicine, but still palliative care is not part of MBBS syllabus. It is we are fortunate that recently it became part of BSc nursing syllabus, And IAPC immediately take up this good decision that they launched the foundation course in palliative care for nursing faculty. And this course is now available offline as well as online as well. So this type of training needs to be taken up at all undergraduate faculty level also, that they should have a knowledge about palliative care and many drugs which are used exclusively in palliative care. Coming to gaps in palliative care services, we have number of centers across India. In fact, in Kerala, there are almost 15,000 centers having small palliative care units or services. But still, they are isolated. There is a lack of integration or generalized palliative care available at all the levels. So this is one of the gap which we needs to address. There is a great disparity between availability of palliative care services in urban and rural area. Services are highly concentrated in urban area. All qualified doctors and postgraduate MD qualified doctors are settled in urban area, and there is a very limited access to palliative care in rural area, particularly by a qualified doctor. There are two studies which has been reported, which has taken up the task of improving palliative care services in rural area. One of that was done in Assam, you can see the figures, how the number of institutions increased, morphine consumption increased, number of people who are trained was increased. So, and second study was taken up in Puducherry, where you can see the following this study and implementing palliative care services at rural area, more than 3,000 patients had access to palliative care. So this type of rural area studies and implementation of palliative care services is very much need of this hour. How to bridge these gaps? And what is the role of Indian Association of Palliative Care? First and foremost, creating awareness. And this is done by IAPC through social media, websites, celebration of the days, publishing infographics every month on various subjects. Secondly, IAPC has also taken up education and training of various categories of specialists working in palliative care. And we have number of courses for doctors, nurses, pharmacists, physiotherapists, and even volunteers. We have established an academic unit of IAPC, which exclusively takes up the courses which are designed under UGC guideline, as per UGC guideline. So this is the thing which is in progress. IAPC always supports the advocacy regarding NDPS implementation, its guideline, the part of training which is required for ENDs, and also thing is taken up by IAPC. And many position statements on end of life care is also, they are also released by IAPC. IAPC is involved with Government of India in policy decision making, even at state level through their state chapters, and there are international collaboration with many other organizations. IAPC has come up with many clinical guidelines, standards of palliative care services, standards of pediatric palliative care, and clinical guidelines which is in pipeline, and it is being taken up by IAPC. This is the Academy of Palliative Medicine. number of courses which are already in existing are basic course in certificate palliative care, nursing program, geriatric palliative care, along with Indian Association of Geriatric, and there are many PG oriented, postgraduate oriented programs. So way forward, we are working on now to establish a IAPC center across India. And this center will be having the role as becoming a nodal center for various trainings on NPPC, NDPS Act, END trainings, hands-on training, and these centers will be accredited by IAPC, and this center will work with state government and government of India and to implement various policies and services of palliative care. With this, I think time is up, and I conclude my talk. So we have many more things to go, and Indian Association of Palliative Care is ready to collaborate with other organizations like RMD hospitals and many other institutions to carry forward this task of palliative care. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do we have time for one question? Yeah. Ma'am, very nice, exhaustive presentation. Just one thought comes to mind when you're talking about global policy. We in palliative care have been talking about good death. Good death. Is the policy anyway coming closer to that? Any idea? Is the policy including this aspect of good death?
I pick on.
So, ma'am, so we have multiple policies in the country. So we talk about good death as a part of palliative care. So are there policies, or these policies, are they really answering the question about good death or not? Is what the question was.
End of, about end of life care, still we have released the statement for end of life care by IAPC, and various institutions are working for the implementation of the end of life care guideline, and they are establishing clinic also, and IAPC is supporting them.